Hey gang, by request today we're going to do the chords to Shooting Star by Bad Company. Now, I already did a video on the lead, and I'll link it up here as well as in the description so you can check that out a little bit later. What I like about this one is that the chords are pretty simple, but there's a uniqueness to them, and I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll show you the chords verbatim for the verse, the chorus, and the bridge, and then I'll talk a little bit about the uniqueness of it near the end. You can check out the links if you want to skip direct to it. Okay, so let's check it out. This, I think, will be a pretty short lesson, so let's check it out. All right, gang, let's go over this in some detail. We'll do the chords. First things first, you can download the tab from the link that's in the description and get this tab and lots of other goodies as well. Okay, we're going to do the intro, then we'll do the verse chords, then the chorus chords, and then we'll cover the bridge chords. All right, so here we go. Here's the intro. It's played again. Okay, so you just repeat that. All right, so what is that? We're going to start out with an A chord right here. And you know, if you want to think about this, it's the same as this A chord down here, right? Except you're omitting the fifth string. We're only playing on the D string, the G string, and the B string, the 4, 3, and 2 strings. And then we're hammering on the B string, one note above where we're fretting. So it's just this chord moved up an octave and omitting that bass note. That's it. So we're barring across on the 14th on the D, G, and B strings, and on the B string we're hammering on from the 14 to 15 and back again. So it's an A chord. Then we're going to come down to here on the 9th fret, and this is an E chord. Now, again, I'm playing on only the 4, 3, and 2 strings, and really mostly on just the 4 and 3 strings, the D and the G. And I'm playing on the 9 and hammering on the D string from 9 to 11 and back. Okay? So that's an E. Now we're going to go 2 frets down. Of course, 2 frets down from E would be D. We're going to do something very similar. It's very Hendrixy, right? Okay, so on this one we're doing it a little bit differently, but not much. It's basically the same idea. 7, 7, 7 on the D, G, and B strings. We're going to hammer on the D string from 7 to 9 and back again. And then this, we're going to kind of bar all the way across on the 7th. Now, if you wanted to just do that from the beginning, that would be okay too. So this is playing on the 5th string, 10th, and then coming from 7, hammering on to 9. So that hammer is pretty cool. Okay, that's the coolest maneuver. You got to get that one down. And then there's a couple arpeggiated notes. So I'm just basically playing on the 5th string, A9, D7, B7, G7, and then maybe D7 as well. All right, so that's that. That's the opening. All right, let's do the chords now. We're going to do the verse, then the chorus, then the bridge. Now, if you need to know how to finger all the chords, I will refer you to the tab where it's going to tell you exactly which frets to press, okay? But you probably already know that, so we're just going to go through what the chords are. Okay, let's go through the verse first. Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song. Okay, pretty cool chord progression. I dig it. And let's just talk about what the chords are. It's an A, da 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 da, E, da da, to a G, da 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 da, back to an A. Okay, so a 1, a 5, a flatted 7th chord, back to the 1. I'll talk about that progression in the theory section. If you're interested in that, you can skip ahead or you can watch up till there. Okay, so that's the verse. You do 4 of those, and then it's so it's don't you know, don't you know. There's 2 of those. So that's just a D to an E. All right, so that's the verse. You do 4 of these, A, da 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 da, E, A, G, A. Do 4 of those, and then you do 2 of these. Don't you know, don't you know. That's a D and an E. Okay, so that's it. Now the second time you do it, it's a transition to the chorus, and the chorus is this. Don't you know that you are a shooting star? Don't you know? Don't you know? So the first time through, all that happens is D, that you are a, to A, shooting star. Don't you know? E, now D, E. Okay, now the second time through it's a little bit different. It goes, don't you know, that's a D, same as before, that you are a shooting star. That's the same, but now it's a, here's the kicker, and all the world will love you. That's a G, just as long. Back to D, as long as you are, to E. A shooting star, that's the D to the E again. Okay, so that's the chorus. All right, now some of you may be wondering how I'm playing that G. It's a little bit different. Some people call it the English style G. Some people call it the Tom Petty G. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm taking the normal G and I'm deadening the 5th string, and I'm playing on the 2nd string, or on the B string, I'm playing the 3rd. And it gives it a bit of a harder edge than this does. All right, that's that. Now the bridge. The bridge is actually a little bit different, and it shifts, and this is where the guitar solo is played. It goes from F sharp to E to B. It does that 3 times. F sharp. Now I'm just playing a power chord here, so I'm just playing the bottom 3 strings. So it's an F sharp. You can even just play the bottom 2 strings. That sounds best, probably. To a B. And the last time it just goes F sharp. To E, and then it goes back into don't you know that you are a shooting star. And that's it for the chords. All right, let's talk just a tiny bit about this chord sequence. It's a cool one. It's one that doesn't happen all that much. It's a 1, 5, flatted 7th. Now we don't hear it that much, and it's kind of surprising. And here's kind of the origin and what I'm talking about here, why I said that's a 1 and a 5 and a flatted 7th, what that's all about. Let's take the key of A. Most of you probably know either the harmonized scale or what's often called the Nashville number system, and that is, we'll go through this very, very quickly. If we're starting in A, the 1 chord, A, is an A major. Okay, the 2 chord is a minor, 3 chord is a minor, the 4 chord, major, the 5 chord, major, the 6 chord, minor, the 7th chord, almost never used in songwriting anyway, is the diminished, and finally we're back to the 1, which is a major. And you know, countless songs, pop and rock songs, use chord progressions that stay within that key and use those flavors of chords just constantly. Let me play the most famous one. Probably the most famous is the 1-4-5, all majors. Here's an example. I'm sure you recognize that as Louie Louie, or was it Hang on Sloopy, or was it Twist and Shout, or was it La Bamba? You get the picture, right? Countless. Now, what was interesting is that a lot of the bands like the Stones, Black Crowes, and Bad Company was one of those bands too, started using song or chords that were a little bit edgy and out of those structures. The most common being the flatted seventh and the flatted third. So, for example, here's a use of the flatted third in Back in the USSR. I'll play it in the key of A as well. That I'm playing A to D to C, right? The 1, the 4, the flatted third, back to the 4. That flatted third gives it a bit of a toughness. The flatted seventh is also used a lot, and it's used in this one. Usually, the most commonplace one that I know of is to go from the 1 to the flatted seventh to the 4. And you'll recognize that sound a lot. Here's an example of that one. Right? The Who's Won't Get Fooled Again. Or how about this? Right? That's Highway to Hell. Or even this one by the same band that we're doing right now. Right? Can't get enough. This one is a little bit different. It goes from the 1 to the 5 to the flatted 7 before returning back to the 1. And what I really like about that is it's just not used that often. In fact, the songs that I can think of are, and I wonder if Bad Company was actually thinking of this particular song when they wrote it, because they reference a Beatles song, but the Beatles song, I'm a Loser. Not in the opening, but in the chorus, right? And I'll play it in A, even though I think it's a different key, but all the loves I have won or have lost. Same chords. 1, 5, flatted seventh, back to the top. The other song I can think of is kind of does it in reverse. Misty Mountain Hop by Zeppelin. So I kind of like it that this is a bit different. Hey, if you can think of some of the 1, 5, flatted 7 progressions that are out there, it's got to be a ton more, but those are the ones I can think of. Why don't you write them in the comments? All right, I hope you enjoyed this little foray into theory. Nice thing to try in your songwriting if you want to write a little edgier thing. Put in a flatted 7th chord or a flatted 3rd. Nice, easy way to do it. All right, gang. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, either just learning the chords or learning a little bit of theory and rock history to go along with those chords. Either way, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on down the road.